person and it'll click, and then to another it doesn't. Okay, so when you're doing these with each other, or anytime you're teaching your partner an exercise, as the patient, pretend you don't know anything, to really let your partner practice educating you. Okay, so isometric. What does iso mean?
Same.
What does metric mean? Measure length. Okay, so the whole point of isometric exercise is to keep the joint in one position. No joint movement, but we want a muscle to turn on. Okay? If we wanted to promote isometric strengthening of knee flexion, what muscle do we want the patient to turn on? Knee flexion.
Hamstrings.
Hamstrings.
Hammies.
What about for knee extension?
Quadriceps.
So how am I going to get my patient to turn on their quads without moving their knee?
Touch their neck.
Okay, so ideally we could say tighten your quads and they would know what that is. They don't know what that is.
Put something under the leg, under the knee.
So we have to be careful about our verbalization. We don't want movement, but we want muscle activity. So first I'm going to let them know this is the muscle we're trying to turn on. Okay, and I'm going to talk you through how to do that. I'm physically letting him know which muscle we're doing. So what I want you to think about, I want you to think about pushing the back of your knee into my hand. Okay. Go ahead and do that.
Quad set.
Am I getting a quad to turn on?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now what's one thing, why did I put my hand here?
So he doesn't push his leg up.
Okay, so if they have extension range of motion, you could actually extend your knee and bring the foot off the table, but now we're doing isotonic. Mm-hmm. So if you do see the patient do that, I would let them know, okay, you're going to push into the back of my hand, but keep your heel on the table at the same time.
Good job, Chris.
Okay, and sometimes even just showing him with my hand, he didn't do it, and I don't have to tell him to not do it. Okay, so that's why you have to watch your entire patient to see if they're doing it correctly. And ideally now I can palpate, because what if the muscle activity is really, really faint? I need to be able to palpate to make sure the muscle is turning on. So one more time, press down and hold. Make sure you're breathing.
Look at that quad.
And relax. Good. Now, if he is going into too much extension, you can put a small towel roll or towel under here so that the knee doesn't go into extension when they turn the quads on. Okay, now we're going to stay in the exact same position to get him to turn on his hamstrings. So what's something I could say to get him to turn on his hamstrings isometrically?
Push the heel into the mat.
Dig the heel into the mat. So again, I'm going to palpate to make sure the right muscles are turning on. I want you to think about digging your heel into the mat, but don't let your knee lift. I know, it's tricky. Okay, so relax. Don't move your knee. Think about pulling your heel to your bottom. There you go, and I feel the hamstrings turn on. If the quads turn on a little bit with it, that's fine. We get a little co-contraction. So you want to make sure the muscle you're targeting is actually turning on.
Would you apply this small pillow or roll up a small towel at least if he has a hard time?
Same thing, you could put a small little towel roll under there as well. But as long as the knee isn't actually changing joint position during the muscle contraction, we've accomplished what we want. Everyone got it? Yes. Okay. Now we want to do hip extension. What muscle are we going to turn on?
Glutes.
Hip extension.
Glute max.
Glutes. Okay, you know your bottom muscles?
Squeeze your buns.
Squeeze them together. There you go. Relax. This is the one we did in class. It's really easy to do just laying in supine.
Right now.
Use it or lose it.
Squeeze it in.
Burn it?
Glute sets. You can do them standing right there. Everyone do some glute sets. Do them all day long.
I thought you were dancing.
Okay, the next one I have on there, which I think is on the next page, is hip abduction. Okay, so if I have, like a bed rail here, I could stack up some pillows and ask him to just push out. But easiest thing to do, go ahead and roll over onto your right side. Yeah. So I'm going to keep his legs here. So what I want you to think about is this part of your leg, I want you to just push it down into the table. So which isometric exercise are you doing, right or left?
Right.
Left.
It's right.
Right, because he's pushing down into the table. Now anytime you turn a muscle on one side,
The other.
it causes the other side to contract as well. It's called irradiation. And it's a helpful neuro rehab technique. Irradiation. If I turn, even if you're relaxed and I turn my biceps on the right, if I had an EMG on this arm, the muscle would turn on.
Would it
At
turn
least
on?
a little bit.
Oh, just a little bit. Then.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have someone with a really, really weak on one side, if you get them to do a whole bunch of exercise on the other side, you actually get some carryover. Because we've got fancy brains. Okay, so that's why this leg is lifting a little bit, because his hip abductors are strong. He can lift his leg against gravity, and if he's turning on the right side, the left are probably turning on too.
Sweet.
Okay, go ahead and sit up. Everyone stand up and grab a pillow.
Ooh, adduction.